we've got these two areas, or four areas actually, which are their faces, but they're at a different level than this top face. And it's also interrupted here, okay? So that's the reason why I drew these lines, okay? The way I'm going to program it is I'm going to use profiling, okay? And I'm going to show you why and how that's done. So the first thing I need to do though is I want to trim up these lines. So let's do some trimming, okay? And we're going to trim these, and then we're going to select these, and we'll trim that. Okay, let's go to the top view. Okay, so now I'm going to select these four lines and I'm going to merge them. Okay, so now we got four curves meeting at right angles along those edges. Okay, so if you got any questions, feel free to put them in the questions panel and we'll get to them. So now what we're going to do is we're going to do a profiling operation. And we're going to go 2-axis, profiling. We're going to select these four curves, merge curves. Okay. And then for the tool, we'll go ahead and use the 1/2 inch end mill. For the cut parameters, tolerance of 1 thou, 0 stock, we're going to cut right up to the edge, a mixed cut direction, and we'll do the determine using 3D model. That'll figure out which side to put the tool on for us. Now, I want to cut this whole area on this side of the curve and on this side of the curve to make sure I get this area covered. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a width here. So let's go ahead and do some measuring here. Let's just check and see what the distance is from here to here. So that's 2.3. So let's make that 2 inches to start with, see how that goes. And then we'll make this at 1/4 inch offsets. Okay, the cut levels again, the locational cut geometry is at the bottom, so we're cutting down to this point, and the total cut depth is going to be 0. Okay, so we're going to cut one level at this bottom location. Entry and exit, we'll go ahead and do lines and arcs. Advanced cut parameters, we'll do arc fitting, even though there's no arcs. We probably won't get any arcs. Cornering, sorting, we'll just leave that. Okay, so what did we get here? We got it covered. We got a little bit extra covered. We don't really need it to go out this far. So let's go ahead and make some adjustments. Let's set this to 1 and see how that works. All right, that looks better. That looks like it just might do it. Let's go ahead and simulate that and see what that does. Let's turn that off. Okay, it looks like the entry needs to be moved out just a little bit. Okay, so let's make some adjustments here. Let's go into here, go to the entry and exit tab, and let us do approach motion distance length. I'm going to set that to 0.75, and then the exit distance length, departure length, 0.75. Let's see if that helps. Let's take a look at it. Okay, great. So what you see is we added some extensions here on the entry and the exit, so that brought it out, hopefully past the perimeter, as we're using square stock. So let's see what that does. Okay, so it looks like it's not quite enough either. Let's go ahead and pause that. Let's stop it. So What is another way to add some extension? We can increase the diameter of this radius right here for the entry and the exit radius. Let's go ahead and do that. And we'll change the radius to, instead of that, we'll change it to 0.75 and 0.75 with the entry and the exit. Okay, that probably will do it. Let's see how that looks. Yeah, that's good. Very good. Okay. Okay, so as I mentioned, let's turn this stock on. There's more than one way to program just about anything. I simply choose to do it this way. You could have put a square rectangle here and just pocketed it. You know, that would have worked. You could have done facing on it, right? You probably would have had to extend this line out a little bit further because if you're facing open pocket areas, it's just going to connect from the endpoints to cross over. So you need to make sure that you get out past this point on the part. But we chose to do it with profiling, which worked just fine, I think. Okay, so what do we need to do next? Okay, so we got our center hole, we got our facing, we got our profiling for these step downs, we've got our pre-drill points,